Cat on the Run in Cat of Death is the latest work from #1 New York Times bestselling author Aaron Blabey, the creative mind behind The Bad Guys, Thelma the Unicorn, and of course, Pig the Pug. And he is joining us this morning with his latest about Princess Beautiful. Aaron, thanks for joining us.
Good morning, Jackie. Thanks for having me.
Well, I am so excited to chat with you this morning. My 6-year-old and I have loved reading all the antics that Pig gets into, and of course, watching some of those characters come to life in The Bad Guys. But this latest, about a cat, an internet famous cat, tell us a little bit about the backstory and what this cat kind of gets herself into.
The Cat on the Run is the story of Princess Beautiful, who is the world's #1 cat video star, who is accused of a crime she didn't commit and has to go on the run to prove her innocence. But because she is famous, like a Kardashian is famous, it's easier said than done. And I just wanted to do a series about, I wanted to do something that was a fun action comedy with a female central character, but also one that is about the internet and how quickly it can turn on people, and how it just struck me as something that is a really important thing to introduce that concept to kids in a really fun way.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about introducing that concept to kids, because that's definitely not a book that I would have read growing up. I wouldn't have known what internet famous was. So why is it a great idea to show how that can kind of turn on a character, but also add some humor into something that is so relevant?
That's right. Well, the world that our kids live in now is very different from anything that we knew, and I've just been watching I've got 2 sons, and just been watching them dealing with social media over the last few years. It just seems like something that as early as you can start to introduce the concepts and introduce the dangers and introduce how careful you need to be, and all of those things just seemed important. But I didn't want to, I'm just not my thing to do anything that feels like heavy or prescriptive. So I thought, how can I do that in such a way that makes it entertaining and fun, but you kind of get the message at the same time, which is where Cat on the Run came from.
Right, you're taking something that could potentially be a very heavy topic. A lot of your books always have us giggling out loud, whether we're reading them together and seeing the imagery, or then seeing them on screen. So how is it important for you to really infuse your sense of humor and leave people giggling, and also maybe having those conversations?
Well, look, humor is enormously important, and my first, all of these books, but The Bad Guys, for instance, was written specifically for my youngest son, who's now 15, but when he was 6, I wanted to just make him laugh. He didn't really like reading, he didn't like books, and I thought, I wonder if I could write something that would make him laugh and make him want to read. And that's where that came from, and that's sort of become my thing, I guess. That's what I do, and it makes reading as enjoyable, hopefully, for kids as the stuff that they are bombarded with, like TikTok and Snapchat or whatever, all the things they spend their time doing. I wondered whether I could get a book to compete with that, and it looks like that's what it's doing.
I will attest to that's what it's doing in my household when we're picking up a book, and then seeing the bad guys come to life. I'm sure maybe some of your characters, you might hear how they sound, but then watching these voices come to life in the bad guys, do you really think of the screen adaptation while you're writing, or how does that work when it might come to life for some of these kids, some of the drawings, and then watching it in film version?
Look, it's something that, seeing the Bad Guys movie, I'd obviously heard the characters in my head as I was writing them over the years, but seeing they was so beautifully cast, the Bad Guys movie, Sam Rockwell and Mark Maron and the whole team, everybody was so perfect for those roles that just blew my mind. But Bad Guys was a book series that became a movie. Cat on the Run actually started as a movie, which is in development at a studio in Hollywood, but I then decided to turn it into a book series. So it's been done the other way around. But yeah, look, I think my books kind of read like movies. Because they're graphic novels, they read like a storyboard of a movie in many ways. So yeah, the two things are very interlinked.
Well, Aaron, I know I can't wait to get my hands on a copy for my home, and so I want to make sure our viewers get some more information to get their own copy. Aaron, thanks so much for joining us. For more information on all of Aaron's works, check out his website right there on your screen, and there's more hometown living when we come back.